When you're shopping at the supermarket, do you ever stop and pick up the tabloids?
Yeah, and I look at some of those headlines and I just go, there's no way. But you couldn't print it if there weren't truth to it,
Well,
right?
you would think that. Perfect lead into the story.
Newborn baby sings like Elvis.
Woman's head falls off as she sleeps.
Dying boy saved by clown's ghost.
It's all true. Everything is true.
When writer Tom D'Antoni lets his imagination run wild, he comes up with some pretty outrageous stories.
Cult uses human heads for bowling balls. Those were the days.
Given his obvious talent for twistedness, it's not surprising that during the 1980s, he found a way to let his creative juices flow by working for the supermarket tabloid, The Sun.
It was a thrilling thing to think that somebody actually might believe this stuff. Newborn baby looks and sings like Elvis. Big headline. This also, potato juice makes you young and sexy, is also my story. At the time, I got $25 a story. An extra $10 if it was a little headline on the cover, and $25 more if it was the banner headline. So I could make as much as $50 a story, which is not much considering they sell millions of copies of the paper.
The money may have been minimal, but the memories behind the stories are priceless. In fact, Tom made national headlines when he outed his stories as fiction on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
Or did you feel that it was just for fun? Or
No, I was writing fiction.
yeah.
Grandma turns pet dog inside out looking for lost lottery ticket. Who hasn't been in line, in a long line behind an old lady buying lottery tickets? Maybe she's got a dog, and maybe you think, well, I wonder if she could snap one day. Woman's head falls off as she sleeps. That's my story. Here's another one I forgot about. Skin treatment makes her transparent. I am telling you that 150% of the stories I wrote for The Sun were fake.
Although he had freedom to write anything he wanted, there were a couple of subjects that Tom could almost always count on.
They always wanted birth stories and Elvis stories at the time.
And as far-fetched as many of his stories were, he had a formula to making them somewhat more believable.
I threw in an expert who said, don't do this, don't do this, it'll kill you, just in case somebody was stupid enough to actually believe the story was real. When asked to comment on Bridget's diet, a noted French nutritionist says, this woman is going to kill herself by eating this way. If she doesn't stop, she'll be dead within 6 months. I mean, it's like a wrestler standing up and saying, I have a script, we fake it. Who doesn't know this?
Of course, there are certainly stories Tom wishes he didn't write.
The worst story is mother bites off own tongue to feed starving baby in Ethiopian refugee camp.
Eventually, the bizarreness turned into a battle between Tom's conscience and his creativity, and finally led him to leaving the Sun.
It's easy to come up with stories. What isn't easy is when you get up in the morning and say, oh my God, what am I going to think of today? Writing these stories drove me nuts. The story about the guy who sold meat from dead bodies from an Indian disaster to feed starving people in Ethiopia, those things, that's sick. That's the problem I had.
While his tabloid days are long over, Tom has written a book about his experiences called Rabid Nun Infects Entire Convent.
I never worried that it would affect my credibility because you have to be a complete idiot to think that it was true.
The 80s may have had the sensationalism of The Sun, but in Tom Dan Tony's opinion, today's tabloids are just full of stars.
This is all celebrity stuff, and it's kind of boring, except for when they have the photographs of like really out of shape stars. Who doesn't like that?
Tom has got a documentary coming out called Robert's Story, Dying with Dignity, about assisted suicide. And he also has his book on his tabloid writings as well.
Love the cover.
Yeah. What is it when nuns infect something or other?
The nun's got like a, I don't know, AK-47 or something.
Hey, would you be willing to take some questions from the kids at Kentwood High School? Would you really?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll take a commercial break and we'll check in with the kids over there. We come right back.